और तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं इस एक्साइटिंग इवेंट में जहां हम जानेंगे दिल्ली क्राइम सीजन 2 के बारे में। वेल दोस्तों, थोड़ी देर में दिल्ली क्राइम सीजन 2 की कास्ट हमारे साथ इस मंच पर जुड़ेगी फॉर अ वेरी स्पेशल इंटरेक्शन। वेल इस सीरीज ने न सिर्फ क्रिटिकल अक्लेम जीता है पर हमारा दिल जीता है और हमें गर्व है। इट हैज बीन वन ऑफ द मोस्ट एंटिसिपेटेड सीरीज ऑफ आवर टाइम। नेटफ्लिक्स के माध्यम से दिल्ली क्राइम में हम ऐसे केस फाइल्स देखते हैं जिसमें पुलिस प्रोसीजर्स, क्रिमिनल माइंडसेट और हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी को काफी खूबसूरती से दर्शाया गया है। और क्योंकि ये शो जो है ट्रू इवेंट्स से इंस्पायर्ड है। दिल्ली क्राइम पर्सनली मेरे लिए मैं कहूँगा कि ये सीरीज जो है वो एक इमोशन है। आई बिलीव सिर्फ मेरे लिए नहीं बल्कि जितने लोगों ने दिल्ली क्राइम सीजन 1 देखा है उन सभी के लिए, और यहाँ पे मौजूद सारे जो फैंस हैं, हमारे दोस्त हैं मीडिया से, उनके लिए भी ये एक इमोशन है। वेल टैलेंट और क्रिएटर्स की बदौलत इस सीरीज में हम देख पाएंगे कि कैसे पुलिस फोर्स कॉम्प्लेक्स केसेस सॉल्व करती है। A well-made crime drama that is backed by an engaging plot and some exceptional performances. And performances की बात करते हैं तो of course the cast, शेफाली शाह, रसिका, दुगल, राजेश जैसे पावर हाउस ऑफ टैलेंट ने डीसीपी वर्तिका, नीति सिंह और भूपी जैसे किरदारों से हमें रूबरू करवाया है। पर एक कॉप यूनिवर्स जिसको बोल सकते हैं रियल, रॉ, रिलेटेबल, वो दिल्ली क्राइम जैसे शो ने एस्टैब्लिश किया है। And I can't thank the makers enough for bringing it closer to us. Well, सीजन 2 उतना ही एंगेजिंग होने का वादा करता है। दिल्ली क्राइम सीजन 2 3 दिन बाद यानी 26 अगस्त को रिलीज होने वाला है नेटफ्लिक्स इंडिया पर। मुझसे रहा नहीं जा रहा है। मैं ऐसा बंदा हूं, आई एम श्योर लॉट ऑफ पीपल विल रेजोनेट विद दिस, कि जैसे हम नेटफ्लिक्स पे जाते हैं, जैसे पता चलता है कि जिस दिन रिलीज होने वाला है उसके दूसरे दिन मैंने we want to watch all the episodes at one go, right? We want to finish it, we want to know what's going to happen. So that eagerness is in me कि मुझे चाहिए कि कल ही कल रिलीज हो जाए, बट ये तो हो नहीं सकता। 26 अगस्त तक वेट करना पड़ेगा। बट राइट नाउ एक झलक जरूर देख सकते हैं हम दिल्ली क्राइम सीजन 2 की, और क्यों ना तो ट्रेलर पेश किया जाए। Can we have the trailer please? I can see the smile is all saying it all. You're also waiting, बेचैन है। Well, सिर्फ एक ट्रेलर ने हमें इतना ग्रिप कर लिया, इतना एंगेज कर लिया। डेफिनेटली वी लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट। थैंक यू। एंड एज यू सी all of them are setting the stage, which means it's time for us to call the cast and the maker on stage. And pleasure to be sharing space with all of you here. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll open the floor for media Q&A. I request you please take your seats, settle down. Well, सबसे पहले तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया and congratulations on all the accolades and success we received for Diल्ली Crime. Here we are with season 2, and इससे पहले I'm sure कई सारे सवाल हैं आपके जहन में, और मेरे भी थोड़े कुछ सवाल हैं मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ। And please treat this as an interrogation. We want to know all the truth. That how did the team and how did the makers, make it so engaging and powerful? And the trailer looks very impressive. Congratulations on that. And with that, first question is for Tanuj. You are the visionary. How did you prep for this season? Yeah, please, here you go.
I mean, DC is a show that requires a lot of research, and you have to kind of see what was done before, see the language that was established in season 1. How do we carry the look forward? How do we carry the feel forward? And then you have to learn the characters and go into their backstories, not just what was on the screen, but what's off the screen. To absorb as much material as possible. And then you kind of have to grow from this first season. You have to think what happened in season 1 and how do you grow. And that's my style.
And it's definitely grown, and we can see a glimpse of that, and can't wait for the 26th of August. Well, the next question is for all three of you. Starting with Shefali, that would we get to see the same DCP, Vartika, Niti, and Ruby, or them have evolved?
Well, of course. The team is back, and with its core and its grain intact. But yes, I think it's far more evolved. There is a tree grows upwards, or it just broadens out and it grows outward. I think that is what is happening with all the characters here. Tanuj has delved deeper into the characters, and we are very excited to bring the team back.
राजेश जी, आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि क्या कुछ इवॉल्व हुआ है डीसी के जो कैरेक्टर्स हैं आपके, उसमें कुछ नए रंग या लेयर्स देखने मिलेंगे?
देखिए, ये भूपेंद्र के लिए दिल्ली में जैसे कहते हैं ना, ये पुराना चावल है। तो भूपेंद्र का 27 साल से सर्विस कर रहा है और ज़्यादातर इनके अंडर केसेस हैंडल किए हैं वर्तिका चतुर्वेदी के, तो उसका कैरेक्टर रिमेन्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक प्रोफेशनल फ्रंट में वो सेम रहता है, लेकिन पर्सनल फ्रंट में उसके जो बदलाव आ रहे हैं वो है।
Rasika, what about you? We got to know that you're getting upgraded this time. You're getting a promotion.
जी प्रमोशन मिला है मुझे, मैं एसीपी नीति सिंह बन गई हूँ और सीजन 1 में तो प्रोबेशनर ऑफिसर थी एंड सीजन 1 आई थिंक नीति इज अ वेरी wide-eyed, sincere police officer with a lot of adulation for Rasika Chaturvedi, and I think in season 2 the adulation is still intact, but of course the team knows each other better. They know कि उनके flaws क्या हैं and कि सब human ही हैं at the end of the day, and it's not that anybody is flawless. So that kind of comfort that we feel with each other as a team is more there in season 2, and I think as far as Niti's character is concerned, she's a much more confident and comfortable police officer this season.
Well, it's already echoing in the ballroom here, your presence. Well, thank you so much and wishing you all the best and congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
In season 2. Well, thank you. And the next question is open to all four of you. You know, quite a lot of shooting, most of it has happened in Delhi. What is that one सबसे striking चीज दिल्ली के बारे में जो आपको पसंद है, and how was the experience दिल्ली में shoot करना? Well, starting with you, because you know it's kind of homecoming for you, because I think you're also a Delhi boy. So,
well, you're a great moderator, by the way. And thank you for doing this, and thank everyone for being here. We're very excited to get to the show. I want to say this early before you get. Thank you.
thank you.
My family is from Delhi and Bombay. I spent summers every summer in Delhi, and so there's so many old memories and I shot some of my first pieces here. So you kind of revisit your own memories as you go through the city, and I'd be often shooting at a location that was familiar in South Delhi, and I would be shooting and I would feel my grandparents, you know, in the sky guiding me. I know this sounds a little woo-woo, but then, you know, Delhi itself is such a beautiful city. There's so much texture, there's so much richness, there's so much detail. You can't take a bad shot in the city. So we love this environment, we love this city. It's a difficult city, but we love it.
Angels are watching us over. Big shout out to your grandparents as well.
So what is the highlight of Delhi? For me, 3 of my most important professional achievements are related to Delhi. So it's extremely special to me. I did Monsoon Wedding. I did Delhi Crime. Actually, I've done Delhi Crime 2, and I won my national award here. So it's very, very special.
Special crowd as well. Rajesh ji,
देखिए, मैं तो दिल्ली में ही रहता हूँ अभी भी, तो दिल्ली मेरे लिए मतलब ऐसा घर है दिल्ली, और घर में शूटिंग में ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है।
Rasika, your experience?
I spent 3 very important years of my life in Delhi. I was in Lady Shri Ram College in the hostel. So the city is full of memories for me, and many of them are food related. So it's like every area is associated. So Mulchand is like Mulchand Parathe wala, Bengali market is Chola Kulcha, and we used to go and watch. I remember PVR Sakid at that time used to have these 2 front rows which was for 7 rupees, and the person sitting on the third row had paid 112 rupees for the same show. So we used to go and wait in line for those tickets and buy those tickets, the 7 rupee tickets, and go and watch films. So yeah, Delhi is full of many fun memories for me always.
And you know, we are close to lunch. So we are talking.
Yeah,
It's not
suddenly
we all went like.
suddenly very hungry.
Yeah. But it was actually a walk down all the possible eatery lanes of Delhi. Thank you so much. Well, thank you. अगला सवाल राजेश जी आपसे है कि हमने ट्रेलर में भी देखा कि हमें वल्नरेबल लम्हा है जहाँ पर मैम कहती है कि हम ऐसे क्या गलत कर रहे हैं कि क्राइम कम ही नहीं हो रहा. So we want to know आपका इक्वेशन मैम के साथ.
कि ये इक्वेशन बहुत खास है. वर्तिका चतुर्वेदी का और भूपेंद्र सिंह का, सालों से बहुत बड़े बड़े केसेस सॉल्व किए हैं। और इसमें एक उसको एज एन एक्टर पकड़ना भी बड़ा मुश्किल होता है। जब क्या है कि जो डेजिग्नेशन का जो फर्क है उसकी गरिमा को भी रखना है आपको, उसके अलावा आप शेयर सब कुछ करते हैं, इवन योर पर्सनल मोमेंट्स एंड पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम्स। तो वो हमेशा एज एन एक्टर चैलेंजिंग होता है, और सीन में वो मुझे लगता है बड़ा खूबसूरती से निकल के आता है अगर वो ठीक से कर पाए। तो ये बहुत ही ख़ास रिश्ता है जो क्या करें, मेरे ख्याल से आपको ऐड करना चाहिए इसमें।
I completely agree. I mean, you know, जब Delhi Crime आया था, everyone said we wish there was a relationship we had the kind that is between Vartika and Bhupinder. He's a sounding board. He's the one. She take a moment. मतलब अपनी vulnerability या अपने internal questions अगर एक आदमी के सामने वो share कर सकती है, it's him. And she trusts him blindly. और ये इस तरह का रिलेशनशिप है जहाँ वो लोगों को बात भी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती। यू नो, इट्स जस्ट सो वो जो मोमेंट है ट्रेलर में, इट इज़ वन ऑफ दोज मोमेंट्स वेयर ये पागलपन जो चल रहा है उसमें एक यू नो दैट इंट्रोस्पेक्शन एंड टू आस्क द पर्सन शी इज एक्सपेक्टिंग अ रिप्लाई फ्रॉम, इट्स लाइक वो खुद को भी सवाल पूछ रही है बट ही इज़ क्लोज इनफ टू बी द सेम कि वो उनको भी वही सवाल पूछ रही है कि आई डोंट हैव एन आंसर, डू यू?
जैसे सीजन 1 में भी लोगों को एक सीन हमेशा याद रहा जो आखिर में सोनू पकड़ा गया और जो हक करते हैं, और अगर ऐसे सोचा जाए तो एक डीसीपी और एक एसटीएफ का इंस्पेक्टर, इट्स वेरी अनलाइकली ना।
Well, I would say कि बिना कुछ कहे काफ़ी कुछ कह जाते हैं, and that emotion is very evident, and your chemistry जो है हमें बहुत बहुत अच्छी लगी. Thank you so much. The next question is for Tanuj and Shefali. Well, this is also a personal question. Delhi Crime portrays cops in a way that we've never seen before. वो real लगते हैं. You know, एक sense of pride महसूस होता है as a viewer can relate to their struggles while watching them solve the case. You know, kind of a sense of security मिलती है जब DCP वार्तिका उनकी team is at work. So. Starting with you, can you comment on the portrayal of police officers in this crime drama? Was it a conscious decision to keep it as real as possible?
I mean, you know, beyond just police officers, they're characters. We treat all characters as three-dimensionally as possible in the show, as much as we can. So it's not just about the cops, it's about how we like to treat the material. You know, you should feel that way about every character. With the cops especially, and this is something Rajesh said, is that these are humans, human cops. You know, you see either super cops or crooked cops. These are human cops, and that idea, that funda drives our show.
Yeah, I agree with Tanuj. I mean, the grain of the show it's very real, it's very raw. So he correctly said there are no super cops, or they're not. They can't be categorized. They're human. You know, so their strengths and their weaknesses are a part of it. And you know, one of the most beautiful parts of Delhi Crime is that it does make, it's not making a social commentary, but it does raise social questions. And all these people are a part of that society. So they're equally understanding of probably where they're faltering. And I think strong enough to say, okay, you probably made a mistake, but we're going to correct it. And yes, I feel secure knowing that there are people like this in the force. I really do.
You always pick the right side.
Well, that you got to see.
We
DC too. You have to see that.
But you know, as उन्होंने कहा कि the grain is, you know, the actual essence is real, raw. वैसे का मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि जब ऐसा किरदार करते हैं, you know, जहाँ पर हम इतने इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं उस कैरेक्टर के साथ, तो हमने सुना है कि आपने कहा है कि गुस्से पे कंट्रोल नहीं, इट्स अ फैक्ट. None of us can, you know, sometimes we reach a point in life के जहाँ पे कंट्रोल नहीं होता. तो क्या रियल लाइफ में आपकी जिंदगी का नजरिया कुछ चेंज हुआ है? Have you layered up?
I mean, it's absolutely, whenever I spend time at a police station and just watch a police officer working all day, and I did some of that for season 1 and for season 2, it's absolutely astounding to me how many decisions they have to make every day, and a variety of decisions, and different people come to a police station with different degrees of intensity. On a given day, a police officer is dealing with two neighbors who've had a spat in the morning, and then they're doing a murder interrogation in the evening. So the job is very, very demanding, and it's absolutely, it takes a lot to be a police officer, is my takeaway from the research work from season 1 and 2. And really they have to function and make some very, very important decisions within a lot of limitations, So it's a hard job, it's a very high demanding job, it's a very high pressure job. And it's really, every decision they make on any given day affects so many lives every day. So yeah.
रसिका, तुम्हारे जवाब के बाद मेरा दिल घर से फूले नहीं समाया जा रहा, क्योंकि I belong to the family. My dad is a retired assistant commissioner of police from CID. So for me, I can resonate when you say that. So the kind of efforts and the lifestyle and everything that they go through, so I could resonate. So thank you so much. And coming to the uniform, I've seen my dad, wearing that, going out every day. How was it? You look. You're a strong personality. You've got a strong presence, a powerful presence. Uniform पहना तो even stronger you're looking on screen. कैसा महसूस हुआ to don that uniform?
That uniform does something to you. Trust me, वो uniform पहन के मतलब कुछ और ही हो जाता है. जब हम टेलीग्राम 2 करने वाले थे और मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा था कि पहला तो हो गया, वो बन गई, मतलब कैसे हुआ पता नहीं. How do I fit those shoes again? How will I ever be able to do it? And trust me, when I stepped into those shoes, there is something else. I walked on. I have so much, I'm getting goosebumps when I say
I know, I
this.
can see it, yeah.
And, actually, it's like suddenly I'm just, and the respect for that uniform. Like I remember when we walk on set, people part way. They actually give you way to walk. It's something. It's just to be able to wear it even for a show. It's something else.
Can't wait to see the entire series, and thank you so much for sharing that personal experience. And now, before I open the floor for media Q&A, एक आखिरी सवाल, इतना introduction हो गया, इतनी serious. Lighter moments from the set we would like to know. Any lighter moment, Rasika?
I can't believe it. We are all sitting here looking at each other.
I have no light moments.
कुछ नहीं किया, huh?
I have no light moments.
No light moments.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Because when you're working in an ensemble cast, there are several occasions where you're not doing much in a scene where somebody else is sort of
I was just
doing the maximum work in that scene, and सारा बोझ scene का उन्हीं पे है. And sometimes in a long shooting day, you're having great maza when the other person is suffering with their lines. So most often Shefali would be suffering because she had a monologue in almost every scene. And Rajesh, by the way, looks very innocent, but he was the chief entertainment officer on our set.
I'm working on my PJs.
Yes.
Okay.
His jokes have improved significantly, in the sense the PJs have improved significantly from season 1 to 2. So there are, he would sometimes do it while on shot also.
चलते शॉट में भी अपने कई बार किया है आपको
डिस्टर्ब नहीं किया मैंने.
और अभी वो कहीं पे डबिंग में कर रहा था अभी मैं डबिंग कर रहा था तो पीछे हम दिखाई दे रहे हैं तो थोड़ा सा वॉइस डालना पड़ेगा ना तो हम तो कुछ मजाक कर रहे थे अब इसको डब कैसे करके आए पता नहीं आपको क्या लाइन करके आई मैं कुछ करके आया वो ज़रूरी लाइन से.
Well, graduation life is always a must, so we like that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And with that, we open the floor for media Q&A. उससे पहले एक दरख्वास्त है कि please identify yourself, the publication you belong to, आपका नाम, आपका publication, और फिर सवाल किससे पूछना चाहते हैं. That's very important. That way, we'll be able to address it correctly to the respective individual. So, yes, please. On the right, here we go.
Hi, this is Shrishti Anand from Mayapuri, and I have actually 2 questions. First is for Tanuj sir. Was there a reason for specifically picking the Kacha Banyan case? What made you pick this, and is there a larger narrative context here?
Fair, good question. To be honest, the case was picked prior. to my coming on board. So it wasn't my selection. It was a case that Richie worked on, but it was a case that the people he's been researching with suggested and he felt it was a strong season behind it. So.
My next question is for Shefali ma'am and Rasika ma'am. Here now. How easy or difficult was it for both of you to play your respective roles again in season 2?
I think I answer that. It was very, first and foremost, every time I go in front of the camera, it's difficult for me. And then Vartika, because she became larger than life when DC happened. I did not expect her to become what she did. And like I said, मेरे दिमाग में ये चल रहा था, how do I do this again? वो तो हो गया, अब कैसे दोबारा करूँ? So how was it? I mean, it's nervousness. I think every day I used to go on set and look at Tanuj like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? What are these papers? I can't understand a word of this. So I have this trepidation all the time. And then of course with Delhi Crime and Vartika, which is so close to me, it grows manifold.
I'm always excited to revisit characters and go on to a subsequent season because there is a familiarity, but there's newness also. You know this person, but there's something happened to them since you met them last. You know, so it's almost that kind of a feeling. And the initial extreme nervousness of creating the characters not there, but the excitement to add many more details and layers to something that you had created earlier is there. So it's always fun. And you know, there are some characters you read and you feel that they're just not like you, and they're exciting to play for that reason. But there are some which you read and you say, I know this person and I connect with her a lot. And Neeti is one of those characters for me, so I always like revisiting and being with her.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. On to the left.
Hi, I'm Dilta from IIS. My question is for Shefali ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell me how the portrayal of a cop in Delhi Crime is different from usually what we see in mainstream series and movies?
I think you would be better equipped to answering this question than I would be. I mean, you can see it, like we discussed earlier. These are real people. These are, I mean, when you see it, there is a Bhupinder, there is a Neeti, there is a Vartika, there is Subhash and Jayaraj, all of them. And they're real characters. They're not larger than life. They were never meant to be. They're human. They're not super cops. And, and they're not completely right or wrong. They're humans, they're trying to deal with the situation in their best ability. So, I think it's very, very different, yeah? It's very different. I mean, not just the portrayal of cops, like, Tanuj very correctly said, the show itself, it's so raw. It's almost like watching it voyeuristically. Like, camera, nahi hai, you're sitting there and just watching this whole thing play out. It's like that.
Next question, please.
Hi, I'm Tanakshi from ABP News. First of all, welcome to Delhi, and it's so good to see you all here in person. I have a question for Rasika here. Rasika, what is it like working with such great team of actors and makers? And it would be great to know, and I'm very curious to know, what was the atmosphere like on the sets?
Filmmaking is such a collaborative exercise that if you don't have a good team, you don't have a good show. There's nothing you can do on your own. So it's almost imperative for a good show to have a good creative collaboration, especially between directors and co-actors. And I feel very nervous to be on a project when I don't have that. I mean, I've mostly been very, very lucky in that department. I've worked with some of the best actors in the country, and now working with Shefali Shah and Rajesh, Tailang, and Subhash and Jairaj, Anurag Arora and Siddharth, who are just absolutely incredible in the show. I think after season 1, somebody once gave a feedback कि आप लोग तो पुलिस वालों से भी ज़्यादा पुलिस वाले दिखते हो. And they're great improvisers. They have great lines always. because sometimes the dynamics of a scene changes when you're on set. They always had a very good line every time something changed, and they come up with some great lines. It's always great fun. And I know Delhi Crime, sometimes the material of the show can sort of become intense and heavy, but we had a lot of I think we felt the need to create lighter moments so that we could go through so many days of shoot together. All the actors on the show look very serious, and Shefali might look like she's a very strict person, but she has many comic moments, especially after a night shoot.
Where I just get delirious.
Yeah, she gets delirious.
I get delirious.
So we were both sitting in a car at 6 o'clock in the morning, and Shivani, do you want to do a performance of that little act that you did for me?
The whole impression of Vartika Chaturvedi will go down the drain.
I agree.
I
think
just
we
was
hold back
delirious
on
that
that for a bit till you watch the show, and maybe we'll ask her to do that later in the
Show में
post
भी-
release.
हम तो शो में भी लड़ाई करते रहते हैं कि हमें किसी सीन में चाय वाय तो पीने दो यार. We wanted to. हमने किया
I
था.
wanted biscuits also. Then we decided, अच्छा, why every time we put cookies? Why can't we have some chakna kind of a thing? Like chai के साथ.
मूंगफली आई थी.
मूंगफली आई थी. हाँ.
Hello.
हाय आप सबको मेरा नमस्कार. निशा जैन बालाजी न्यूज़. मेरा सवाल राजेश जी से है. राजेश सर कि आप एक अभिनेता के रूप में OTT प्लेटफॉर्म पर आपने आपके कैरियर की गति को कैसे परिवर्तन गति को प्राप्त किया? अपने कैरियर की गति को कैसे बदला?
मैंने तो नहीं बदला है, OTT ने बदला मेरा पूरा. मतलब डेफिनेटली मैं OTT की वजह से मैं ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच पाया, ज़्यादा कैरेक्टर्स को एक्सप्लोर कर पाया, और तो डेफिनेटली OTT ने मुझे एक एक्टर के तौर पे बहुत क्या कहें सपोर्ट किया. यूथ तक पहुंच पाया इसी के ज़रिए, और अलग अलग तरह के कैरेक्टर्स करने को मिला जिनको मैं करना चाहता था. तो मेरे लिए तो बहुत अच्छा रहा.
Hi, Bobby here from News 18.
Sorry,
Hi.
please.
मेरा सवाल भी राजेश जी से ही है. We were just talking about your on-screen, camaraderie with Shefali. But has that also kind of like reflected in real life? Have you guys bonded, because of the equation that you share on screen?
बिल्कुल. और मेरे ख्याल से जब हमने शुरू किया था काम तो पहली दफ़ा मिले थे फर्स्ट सीजन में. शायद एक दिन पहले मिले थे, सिर्फ एक दिन पहले मिले थे. उससे पहले मतलब मैंने उनका काम देखा था, उनका एडमायरर था मैं उनका, लेकिन साथ में काम करने का मौका तो कभी मिला था. और फिर धीरे धीरे वो रिफ्लेक्ट करने लगता है आपके, क्योंकि अनटिल अनलेस वो दिल सच्चाई नहीं होगी वो नहीं निकलेगा. और उसमें वो इतने इंटेंजिबल मोमेंट्स हैं, वो यू कैन नॉट फेक इट.
मैम, मेरा नाम निकिता मिश्रा है और मैं ANN न्यूज़ से हूँ. मेरा सवाल रसिका मैम से है कि आपको शेफाली मैम से क्या कुछ सीखने को मिला सेट में?
Right.
मेरा सवाल ये है कि आपको सेट पर शेफाली मैम से क्या कुछ सीखने को मिला, क्योंकि वो बहुत ही पावरफुल लेडी है एंड बहुत अच्छा रोल करती है हर सीरीज में. लाइक आपको क्या कुछ सीखने को मिला?
The first time we worked on season 1, Shefali always has a lot. She can see the scene from everybody's perspective, and she has a lot of inputs on what could be or could not be, or why something is there or not, and getting everybody together to rework it if required, or just try different ways of making it work. And prodding the writers also to probably rethink something that they've done. And that's a great quality. In fact, I went to shoot for a show right after I shot for Delhi Crime season 1, and before that I would be like, "Acha, ye script hai, okay, I'll just go on the side, I'll do my work and I'll come back." Right? That's how I used to work earlier. And I realized that this is a very good way to figure out what everybody is thinking about the scene, what their discomfort might be with a particular moment on the scene, where they see themselves in that scene, in that moment. So when I went on to my next project, I would always think that I was having trouble with some scenes on that project, and I was like, if Shefali was here, how would she have done it? She would have called everybody and we would have had this intense discussion about how everybody sees themselves in this scene. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. And every time, I've told you. Yeah, I messaged her to say, you know, I was really having trouble with these three scenes, and I thought about how we would have worked it out.
Sometimes the suggestions are way too many. Yeah, too many. Yeah. Poor Tanuj.
No comment.
But I'll agree to that. She's a university when it comes to acting. So, indeed. Thank you. Next question. Sorry. Who's got the mic? I request you please ask the question.
And I'm from Indian Express. My question is to Tanuj sir. Sir, हमने दिल्ली क्राइम 1 देखी, दिल्ली क्राइम 2 26 तारीख को देखेंगे. क्या हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि यूपी क्राइम या ऐसा कोई और क्राइम हमें देखने को मिलेगा?
I think we wanted to stick with crimes in the city still. I don't think we have another. But मैं अंग्रेजी बात कर सब कुछ समझाती लेकिन I'll speak in English. I think we want to keep we want to keep the crime within the city. The city is the IP of the show.
So we will accept Delhi Crime 3 as well.
You guys want it?
So when
You all want Delhi Crime 3?
Of course, we will love to.
So write a letter.
Great.
हेलो राजेश फ्रॉम इंडियन 99 टीवी. मेरा क्वेश्चन शिफाली मैम से है. मैम, जब भी हम देखते हैं बॉलीवुड में किसी एक्टर को कॉप के रोल जब मिलते हैं और वो सफल हो जाते हैं उस रोल के अंदर, लोग पसंद करने लगते हैं, तो आगे फिल्मों में भी या वेब सीरीज़ में उसी तरह के लोग मिलते हैं. क्या आपको आने वाले समय में इसी रूप में हम देखेंगे बॉलीवुड या नेटफ्लिक्स में? और दूसरा सवाल मेरा जो है, जब आप दिल्ली क्राइम 2 का शूट कर रहे थे एज ए DCP, तो आप क्या देखते हैं कि दिल्ली के अंदर क्राइम की सिचुएशन बाकी इंडिया की सिचुएशन से बेटर है या कुछ इसके ऊपर कुछ बताएं?
मुझे नहीं लगता कि मैं दोबारा एक कॉप का रोल करूँगी या actually never say never, but वर्तिका करने के बाद why would I want to do another cop's role? Because मैं मैच अप शायद ना कर पाऊँ, पहली बात. दूसरा, I've explored her. अब you know, another cop, I remember in fact कि जब दिल्ली क्राइम मैं शूट कर रही थी और somebody had offered me something. I'm talking about season 1. तो कभी तो पता भी नहीं था कि ये you know किसी को नहीं पता था कि ये शो हो रहा है etc. And I just said no. I mean I can't do it. Also as an actor फिर बहुत limited हो जाता है ना. The point is to do more stuff, do more अलग-अलग किस्म का. आपका दूसरा सवाल, yes it's Delhi crime, but हम लोग ये नहीं कह रहे कि दिल्ली में क्राइम ज़्यादा है या किसी सिटी में क्राइम कम है. We pick Delhi and I think there is crime everywhere, but then there is also justice everywhere. There is, like zindagi mein, there is good and there is bad. So yeah, I mean I don't think it's pertaining to a city. At least that's what I feel.
Thank you.
Hi, this side. Hi everyone, this is Sunil Binaya from BBC. So my question is for Rasika. Rasika, we have seen first season, this is second, and I तो want कि 26 को सब लोग देख लें जब तक discuss schedule होगा. What you want कि जब भी viewers इसको देखें वो क्या अपने साथ लेके जाएं, क्या expect क्या करें? Clipping तो हमने देख लिया कि आपका ट्रेलर है, टीजर जो भी है, लेकिन लोग कैसे इसके साथ चलेंगे?
I think the mark of a good story is that everybody takes something else away from it. It's not one thing. It resonates with people so much that there's something that they connect with and they take back something on one viewing and maybe something else on a different viewing. And I think that's the mark of a good story. So I don't, every time a piece of work comes out, I don't think that I hope the audience feels in this particular way, but I always hope that the audience feels connected with it in some way or the other. And I think in season 2 we've put in a lot of effort from the writers, from Tanuj and from all the actors into creating some very lovely moments in the personal equations that the police officers have with each other and with their families. And I think that's saying something very important about the society we live in. Through the smaller, through the seemingly smaller stories within the story of the investigation of a crime. And I hope that those details and those nuances resonate with the audience. I'm sure it will, because our audiences are actually very, very smart. In fact, sometimes when you release a show, people come back and tell you things that you had not intended or thought about when you were working on it. So they see sometimes more into it than you had even thought. So I hope that that happens.
Hi, this is Ritika from Amar Ujala. मेरा सवाल तनुज जी आपसे है कि what were the challenges you faced before making this?
How much time do you have? No challenges. This is easy. You say action and cut, and then let them do the magic. I have such good actors. They take my challenge away from me. I think it's just energy, just keeping your energy. We had to deal with the pandemic. Our production was shut down. You know, we had riots in the city, took away days. There's a lot of things that happened over the last 3 years in the middle of this that it wasn't filmmaking. It was, do you have the heart to hold the show together? So the challenge is energy, endurance, and keeping it in your dhamma, keep the whole story together. And I don't know. I think we did it.
तनुज सर आपसे एक सवाल है इसमें ऐसे क्या एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स डाले जाते हैं कि लोगों को क्राइम पेट्रोल वाली फीलिंग ना आए
नहीं सुनो
कि लोगों को ऐसा ना लगे कि वो क्राइम पेट्रोल देख रहे हैं इसमें आप एक्स्ट्रा क्या करते हैं
What is different about this?
You know, I think there is actually a crime patrol episode.
You have?
I think there might be.
You've actually seen it?
There might be. But like I don't, you know, every show has an audience and it's different style. And Crime Patrol does one thing. I think we try to keep a sense of being in the moment. We have a sort of a documentary style, sort of handheld camera work. You know, you're more in the center of the drama, I think, with our shooting style.
Yeah. We have time for one last question.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
मेरा क्वेश्चन शेफाली नाम से है. मैम आपने इतने डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स प्ले किए, आपने एक मदर का कैरेक्टर प्ले किया एंड मेनी अदर कैरेक्टर. तो वो बाकी ये कैरेक्टर और ये एक जो आपने यहाँ पे डेली क्राइम सीजन 2 and 1 में, तो कितना डिफिकल्ट था?
जैसे मैंने पहले कहा, मेरे लिए हर कैरेक्टर डिफिकल्ट होता है क्योंकि पहले उसे समझना एंड टू बिकम द कैरेक्टर. ऑल्सो मैं अपने इंस्टिंक्ट और गट के साथ बहुत काम करती हूँ, इम्पल्स एंड इंस्टिंक्ट. तो एक्चुअली मैं सोचती हूँ कि किसी दिन अगर मेरा इम्पल्स और इंस्टिंक्ट ना काम किया तो फिर क्या करूँगी? आई डोंट हैव अ क्राफ्ट टू फॉल बैक ऑन. इट वुड रियली बी डिजास्ट्रस. बट हर कैरेक्टर अलग होता है, उसके चैलेंजेस अलग होते हैं. एज एन एक्टर मेरी मेहनत ये रहती है कि I take it as a bigger compliment जब कोई कहे कि oh this is Vartika or this is Shamshulissa or this is Ruxana, rather than saying Shefali did this character. And every character requires something else. So it's a process, it's a learning process, it's a great process. I mean, I love it, and every day is a new day, and every day I don't know. So it's only growing from there and only learning from there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. बहुत शुक्रिया आपको सारे सवालों के लिए. That's all the time we have. I apologize for that. But with that, as she said, character के नाम से, so I say Vartika ji, Fufi, Rasika, and Tanuj. Thank you all of you for Neeti. I get it. इतने सारे नाम में थोड़ा confusion. Neeti, sorry. थोड़ा confusion तो होता है, थोड़ा human, real raw is what it is. But you know, thank you for sharing all the insights, because what happened is हमें और उत्सुक किया है, और eager किया है. So somebody also said, you know, oh, can't wait, and we definitely can't wait for the 26th of August for this to drop on Netflix, Delhi Crime Season 2. Wishing you all the best. I request all of you to please step forward for a nice photo. We could capture the moment.